Come on, open up! Woohoo! It is finally here! We are the masters of our own glow! Behold, the power of the atom! For together, we shall reach the weekend!
The Eagle lands at midnight, Lisa. Follow the money.
The funniest Homer Simpson scene is secretly his darkest. Everybody remembers the scene as a joke. That's the weird part. Because on the surface, it looks like one of the dumbest Homer moments ever written. Homer walks into a situation completely confident, completely wrong, and somehow makes everything worse every single second. Classic Homer. People quote the scene because it's chaotic. But years later, fans realized the joke wasn't actually about Homer being stupid. It was about something way darker. And once you notice it, the entire scene changes. The moment starts unbelievably small. Homer sees a new self-help ad on TV. Not a dangerous ad, not a scam. Just one of those aggressively cheerful commercials promising to unlock your full potential. And instantly, Homer becomes obsessed. Not because he wants to improve himself, but because the commercial says, no effort required. That is the most Homer Simpson sentence imaginable. So naturally, he buys it immediately. Now here's where the writing gets smart. The joke could have ended there. That alone is already funny, but the Simpsons writers never stop at the first joke. They keep stacking layers. The package arrives almost instantly, which already feels suspicious. But Homer doesn't notice. Inside the box is a cassette tape labeled, "Become the best version of yourself." And the instructions are hilariously specific. The tape must be played while relaxing, while comfortable, and preferably while eating snacks. It is basically designed in a lab to manipulate Homer Simpson. And again, the scene still feels harmless. That's important. Because the audience thinks this is just another Homer gets scammed episode. But hidden inside the comedy are tiny details that completely change the scene later. Like the fact that the tape never actually explains anything. It only repeats motivational phrases. And every phrase gets slightly more controlling each time. At first, believe in yourself. Then, ignore negativity. Then, stop listening to doubters. Then eventually, only trust the tape. That escalation is unbelievably subtle. The first time watching, your brain treats it like background comedy. But on rewatch, it feels creepy immediately. And Homer slowly starts changing. Not dramatically, that's what makes it work. At first, he just becomes weirdly confident, then weirdly calm, then emotionally disconnected. And Springfield loves him for it. That's the twist beginning to form, because Homer isn't becoming smarter. He's becoming easier to control. And everyone around him mistakes that for self-improvement. That's the genius of the joke. The writers are secretly making fun of how society rewards blind confidence over actual understanding. But they hide the message inside one of the stupidest plots imaginable. That balance is what makes classic Simpsons writing terrifyingly good. Then comes the scene that changes everything. Lisa notices Homer repeating phrases from the tape word for word. Same pauses, same tone, same smile. And suddenly the audience realizes, oh no, Homer hasn't improved at all. He's basically been programmed. And the craziest part? He's happier. That detail makes the joke way darker. Because now the episode quietly asks a horrible question. If someone feels happier, does it matter whether the happiness is fake? That is an insanely deep idea hidden inside a comedy about Homer listening to a cassette tape while eating chips. But the smartest part is still coming. Because the final twist isn't about Homer, it's about Springfield. Once other people see Homer acting successful, they all buy the tapes too, and suddenly the entire town starts talking the same way, moving the same way, thinking the same way. The joke escalates visually before the audience fully processes it psychologically. That pacing matters because the viewer laughs first, then realizes what they're actually looking at, which somehow makes it funnier and more disturbing at the same time. That's peak Simpsons storytelling. And then the episode lands the final hit. Marge asks Homer if he's truly happy. There's this tiny pause, longer than normal for a Simpsons joke. just enough to feel uncomfortable. And Homer quietly says, "I don't really know anymore." No huge music cue, no dramatic speech, just silence. And that silence completely changes the episode because suddenly the entire story stops being about stupidity. It becomes about identity, about comfort, about how easy it is to surrender your personality if the world rewards you for it. And somehow, they wrapped all of that inside a joke about Homer buying a self-help cassette from television. That's why the scene survives. That's why people still talk about it. And that's why the smartest Simpsons jokes never feel like they're trying to be smart. They trick you into laughing first. Then they make the laughter sit in your brain for years afterward.